to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be telling you all the books I've read recently and not so recently. And by not so recently, I mean all the way back to April. I was going to include March in this, but I did do a reading vlog of the only 2 books I read in March, which were From Blood and Ash and A Touch of Darkness. So you guys already knew I read those books, so there's no point in including them in this video. So in this video, I'm here to tell you the 1 book I read in April and all the other books I've read in May. I have a total of 7 books to show you guys, so I'm just gonna hop right into the video. Actually, before I tell you guys the books I've read about in the past 2 months, I want to tell you my book Deadly Scream is up on Amazon. I know you guys are probably getting tired of hearing it. It's a dark YA fantasy where the main character's name is Ivy. She's living in a world of humans with special abilities, and those abilities are seeing dead people. Pretty much people find out that she can do this, and she is actually hunted down and is thrown into a whole different world where she actually learns who she is, what she is, and like how she is really. Like I said, it's a dark YA fantasy with a hint of romance. It is up on $14.99 for paperback on Amazon, and I think $2.99 on ebook. Go ahead and go pick it up, and if you've already picked it up, go ahead and leave a review. It helps me so much. I would really appreciate it. And now back into the video. Okay, so here's the thing. All the way back in April, which is like now 2 months ago because it's the 2nd of June, I had pretty much all of my finals that entire month. So I literally had no time to actually read the books that like I wanted to read. So I unfortunately only got 1 book done, and it's The Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. This is the 2nd book too from Blood and Ash, and I absolutely loved it. It just took me a while to read because, you know, school sucks. I rated this book a 5 out of 5, and I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, I pretty much absolutely adore this series. I literally bought artwork from an artist on Instagram and TikTok. Her name is Art by Artemis. I'm going to link her Instagram, her TikTok, and her Etsy shop all down in the description because I absolutely love her. I bought 2 pieces of artwork from her. My first one being the Nesta artwork, I think it's called Death Herself, and then the second one being Poppy from Blood and Ash. Absolutely stunning work. I love all of her work and all of her paintings of characters. I highly suggest you guys go check her out. Anyway, so this was the 2nd book of From Blood and Ash, and I absolutely loved it. The series is starting to take off in a direction I didn't know it was going to take off, but I'm loving it. I am loving it. The 2nd book is very enemies to lovers romance. Like the first book, there was like a romance, but they weren't enemies. And then, you know, if you've read the first book, some people become enemies at the end. I'm not saying who. And pretty much the entire 2nd book is an enemies to lovers romance, and I'm totally down for it. It's really, honestly, I highly recommend it. It's hot and steamy, like I said. So this is a new adult fantasy romance, so like if you're into that stuff, I highly recommend this series. And this is all I read in April, so we're gonna hop over to May where I read pretty much the rest of the books. So the first book in May, I actually ended up reading The Crown of Gilded Bones. This did take me 2 weeks. This is the 3rd book of From Blood and Ash, so this is the 3rd book, or the book after this one. I am absolutely loving this series. This was clearly rated a 5 out of 5. You guys, I highly recommend this series. Like I went into From Blood and Ash like really skeptical, really not knowing what I was gonna get myself into. But you guys, this is probably gonna be one of my favorite series ever. Like this is a top tier series I'm absolutely loving, and I cannot wait till the 4th book comes out, and then I think there's a book coming out in the fall, which is like in the same world with different characters. So I'm really excited for that because honestly, I love Jennifer's writing. I think I should probably read some other things because honestly, Jennifer, you're doing great things for me. I'm absolutely loving your series. So like I said, I rated this a 5 out of 5. This took me 2 weeks to read, I think at the beginning of May because I pre-ordered it and it came a couple days late, but it's fine. I still got it. But yeah, so rated this like a 5 out of 5, obviously, like I said. So there's not much else to say about this because obviously it's the 3rd book in a series and I don't want to spoil you guys too much. So I highly recommend this series in general. So finally, after having this book for a few months, it was in my come shopping with me video / book haul. I finally read The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh, and I shit you not, you guys, I read this pretty much in one sitting. I rated this a 5 out of 5. I loved this book series. Oh my god. When I tell you that I was not expecting to love this book that much, I rated this a 5 out of 5. So fast, I rated this a 5 out of 5. I literally loved the New Orleans, however you say it. I typically say New Orleans, but some people say New Orleans. I don't know. It really depends on who you are, where you are. Anyway, loved the main characters. The main romance in this book annoyed me a little bit because I'm like, it was a slow Kindle, and obviously I've been used to not having slow Kindles. With the books I've been reading lately, I've been used to new adult romance where it's a lot of heavy romance every couple of chapters. So this was a refreshing YA that I absolutely loved. So it was far from what I thought it was. This is definitely not a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This was literally vampires, werewolves, fae. I honestly don't know what that other species is. I know they talk about it, but I don't remember. Anyway, this obviously is not a book review, so I'm not going to tell you a lot about this. But I rated this a 5 out of 5. I read this so fast. I highly recommend this book. And then that leads me to the next book, which was the second one, The Dam by Renee Audier, obviously. So I read this in one sitting. I read this in literally one sitting. I think I started it at 6 p.m. one night, and I didn't go to bed until 1 a.m. I read this entire thing in one sitting. I'm so glad I ended up picking it up before I left from college to come back here. I literally left that weekend and picked this book up because I was like, you know what? I really think that I'm gonna end up enjoying it, and I did. I rated both of these books a 5 out of 5, and I would not rate it anything else. These books are so amazing. When I tell you the slowly kindling romance is still slowly kindling, but it's getting better, I'm loving the development of the world and the characters and the relationships, and this one gets more complicated because of obviously the ending of the last book, which I cannot tell you, and I can't tell you why it's complicated. So just take my word from me. This book, absolutely amazing. You will want to just sit there and read it like I did. Like I said, I literally sat down and read it in one sitting. I wasn't even planning on reading it that fast. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down and read it, and I just went whoosh, whole book done. Absolutely amazing. Highly recommend this series. The next one is coming out, I think, sometime this fall. It is in the point of view of her best friend, which I was a little sad by that because I really wanted the point of view of the main two characters, which were, Celine and Bastion. So it's gonna be a little butthurt when I read it, but I'm obviously the story's gonna continue. So hopefully we'll get a better, not really better story, but hopefully we'll still get a really good story from that point of view. 5 out of 5, a one sit read, highly recommend. Alright, you guys, I lied. So I finally read this book, and I was gonna do a reading vlog of it. I was gonna be first vampire, or my first experience with a vampire book reading vlog, but then I just wasn't feeling the vlogs. I haven't been feeling the vlogs lately. I filmed so many since being home, and just I haven't edited any of them, and then I just end up deleting them because I'm like, this isn't even a good vlog. So I just haven't been vlogging. But I think I rated this book, so I rated this book a 4 out of 5. I really liked it. I really did like it. I actually liked it so much that I ordered the second book while I was reading it, and then I ended up getting the second book while a day before I ended up finishing this. I am literally I finished this book, and then the next day they announced that it was gonna be turned into a TV show written by the Vampire Diaries writer Julie, and I'm excited. The only thing that sucks, right, is the characters for Lisa and Rose and those actresses I thought were literally so freaking perfect, and I know for a fact she's probably not gonna bring them back, which makes me very angry because I literally thought perfect people for these characters. I wasn't a big fan of the Dimitri actor, or I did like the actor for Mason, but sadly he looks a lot different now. Not different in a bad way, but he doesn't look like the character that he could portray anymore. He's gotten obviously a couple years older. He just looks different. So I am going to assume they're gonna get a different, well, obviously they're probably gonna get a different actor for all of the characters, which kind of sucks. But I really wish that they're gonna bring back Lucy Fry as Lisa. I don't really remember the person who played Rose. Okay, so her name is Zoe. I don't know if it's Dutch, but like, here's a picture of her. So she played, I literally thought these two bonded so well, like the real book characters. I just really hope that they are brought back, but I sadly know they're not going. Anyway, back to the book. I did really like this, but I found myself skimming this a lot just because like I did watch the movie like years ago when it came out, so like I did know a lot of stuff. A lot of it was really repetitive. There were a few things in here that I did appreciate that like they did touch on in the movie, but like it just didn't make sense in the movie. Like this is gonna be a spoiler. So like Lisa hurting herself, like in the book she does it to herself and she's like, this is how I cope. But like in the movies, like they make it seem like when she uses her power, her skin just cuts. And like that's what I thought it was. So like I was very surprised when I read the book and I was like, oh, this is a more heavy topic. So I really did enjoy this, but it was rated 4 out of 5. The next book, obviously, is Frostbite by Michelle Mead. This was the second book to Vampire Academy. I was literally halfway through this and I ordered the rest of the series. I actually really enjoyed the second book. I was really hoping that Rose would start loving someone else, and like she technically did, but not the person I wanted. And like this book, you guys, actually made me cry. Like this is rated a 4 out of 5, but this book literally actually made me cry. Michelle Mead, your writing is great. Like, I wasn't even, like, so hooked on this thing or this character or person, and you made me cry. And it's, like, good for you that you could make me cry about a person that I didn't care that much about. So, like, congratulations, Michelle, because you did it. I did like this book a lot more just because, like, it was new. It was new, like, content for me. Like, obviously, there's not a movie or a TV show yet, so, like, this was all new for me. And I was loving what I was reading. So, I'm excited for the rest of my books to come in. I have had an issue where I ordered the next 4 books, and the first book that came in was the last book. And then the book that I got yesterday was the 5th book. So I'm literally waiting on book 3 and 4. Like, I cannot continue this series without book 3 and 4. And they sent me 5 and 6 first. Like, how dare they? No, but I enjoyed this book a lot more than the first one. Like, specifically just because, like, I didn't get to see this content before now. So I'm really excited for the rest of the series. I don't know. I hope I like it because I bought the rest of the series, right? So I hope I like it. I'm finally on this bandwagon, right? I was on the bandwagon when the movie came out, and I was like, oh shit, it's a book series. Actually, I did know that. Like at first when I saw the movie on Netflix, I was like, oh, that's a movie I want to watch. And then I remembered that there was a book series called Vampire Academy, and then I remembered that, you know, it was a book first. So here I am reading the book series now, especially before the TV series comes out. So I'm feeling a lot of people are going to be reading these books. Let me know down below if you want to see like a vlog of me reading the rest of the series. Like, I don't know if that'd be interesting or not. Not sure. Just let me know. Okay, so this last book was also a book I read in one sitting. I read it from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland was not a book I was expecting. Like, I rated it a 4.5 out of 5. I rated it 4.5 out of 5. This was an eye-opener for me. This is not, like, I liked this book, and, like, so many things happened that I was like, where the hell did this come from? Like, the direction that it took towards, like, the last half of the book, I was just sitting here, like, what the hell is this? This is not what I signed up for, but I'm loving it anyway. There were just so many, like, plot twists in here, and I was just honestly sitting here, like, holy shit, I'm loving this. And so, like, I literally read this from 11 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Like, I literally that night, I was like, okay, Monroe, like, it's 11 o'clock. You work the next day at, like, noon or something. How about you just pick out a book and then you'll start reading it tomorrow? So I went to go pick out a book, right? And now here I am with an entire book done. Because I decided to just, like, be like, oh, let me just open it really quick. Let me just read the first couple pages. That first couple pages turned into the entire book in, like, 3 hours. And, like, Crazy. But yeah, so I do recommend this book. I was not expecting to love it as much as like I did. Honestly, when I started off, I was like, this is gonna be like between a 3 and a 4, right? And like, I don't rate books a 3 that often. I really don't. I'm more of a 4-star average type of person because it's like, I love a lot of stories I read, but I don't love them, which is where the 4 stars come in. So like, I was really surprised. I didn't want to rate this a 5, so I rated it a 4.4. A 4.5 out of 5. This is definitely a mystery thriller book, and like there is some gory stuff in here, but like not gory to the point where like you're not gonna want to read it because of it. Like it's honestly not that bad. But the main characters, it was very interesting. Okay, these main characters, they throw you through a bunch of loops, and like the first chapter you learn these main characters' names, and then you don't understand at first who's who, and then it's like after chapter 1 it gets a lot better. But yeah, so I highly recommend reading this. It's just like, you're gonna be a little confused at first, I'm not gonna lie. First chapter, when characters are being introduced, you're going to be confused because all the names are kind of similar at first, so it's like, well, who are we talking about now? But that's fine because it gets very clear after chapter 1 who's talking about who. So also, can we talk about this cover? This cover is really what made me like want to read this book. This is an absolute beautiful cover. I saw it on Goodreads first, and then I added it, and then I went to the bookstore and I immediately picked it up. I told Cedric, I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it's on my Goodreads to read area, and you know what? I'm just gonna pick it up. So that's what I did. I picked it up, and I picked it up good because I read it in 3 hours. It's not long though, so like it honestly shouldn't take you that long to read it anyway. I think there's only 292 pages in here, so honestly, I feel like 3 hours was a good estimate of how like long I read it. Yeah, so I do actually highly recommend this book if you like horror, thriller, mysteries, because like it definitely gets interesting. So these are all the books I read in the past 2 months. Yeah, so I read a total of 7 books. It's a big stack. And the crazy thing is, it's like, so A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire took me a month to read, right? The Crown of Girls and Bones took me 2 weeks to read. Everything else I read in 1 week. Like it literally went The Damned one night, the next night, or The Beautiful one night, the next night The Damned. I picked up Vampire Academy, I think that took me 2 days. So we're at 4 days, right? Frostbite, 1 sitting, so that's 5 days. House of Hollow, 1 night. Like 3 hours. Like I literally read these 5 books in 7 days. I was absolutely so happy with myself. Unfortunately, so the book I'm reading right now is Vicious by B. Schwab, and that's not unfortunate, but like this book, I'm over halfway through with it, but I'm getting a little stuck on it, right? Because it's not exactly 100% my vibe. So like, this has been taking me 2 weeks to read. And I need to finish it because Christina Riccio's book is literally on the way from Barnes & Noble, and I will have it on Saturday. I'm filming this on Wednesday. So I need to finish this either tonight or tomorrow because that book is coming. But yeah, so this is what I'm currently reading right now. By the time this comes out, I'll probably be reading a different book, but that's okay. So this is probably gonna be the first book I read for June. But anyway, here are all the books I read. I read a lot. Like, this is literally, like, what is this? Like, this is ridiculous. I don't remember the last time I read that many books. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was specifically picking out smaller books because I was 9 books behind schedule on Goodreads, and I got all the way down to 4. I'm like at 5 or 6 now, just because this Vicious book is taking me a while. But I have a feeling once I get done with Vicious and pick up other books, I'll be reading fast again. Oh shit. So I'm now 6 books behind schedule, unfortunately. So I really need to read more. But anyway, that does come to the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what books you've read recently and not so recently, and what you thought about them. Like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I will see you next time, guys. Bye!